All right, so I'm catching up on Cariema Isaacs' Spice Odyssey. I mean, that's the title of an incredible book that really does take, I think, those who read it on a journey, but I'm sure it must have taken you on some incredible journeys. So Cariema, thank you so much for bringing a little bit of that inspiration, those learnings, because I think you're a student of life as much as you're a culinary student as well. We're going to make something quite interesting, and I got chastised earlier for calling any of your dishes an accompaniment because they could stand alone. But we are now going to continue our Spice Odyssey, making some cumin-infused rice. So that was I dumbed it right down so you can spruce it up a little bit. What exactly are we going to be creating here?
Okay, so we've got a beautiful basmati rice here. It's been soaked for about 5 minutes, so rinsed and soaked. For this particular rice, the reason why you're soaking it is just to strengthen the grain, so that you don't have brittled grains and broken grains. But I think the star of the show is actually the spices. What I love most about this recipe is that the spices are all whole spices, so it just infuses into the rice dish even more. We're going to use some coconut oil, and we're just going to add that to our pan.
There's something also it kind of ignites the imagination when you get to see the source of that spice in its whole state
Absolutely,
form.
Absolutely. So we've got an array of spices here. We've got beautiful cinnamon, and that's pure cinnamon. And I've got some black...
It's actually got kind of a sour smell when you get it in this...
It's so fragrant.
Wow.
It's actually
very different. It's quite floral, actually. It's not that like heavy cinnamon punch. It actually has such a different note.
And then I've also got black cardamom, which is often used in biryanis or most rice dishes as well. It's got a smoky flavor. That's why I love it for this recipe. And mace. I love mace. Mace is basically almost that web-like kind of fabric you have that surrounds the nutmeg shell. And it's just a beautiful spice to use in a rice dish as well. So we're going to add...
And it's actually got very strong, like a lot of spices, especially in their whole state, antibacterial qualities as well, which is quite interesting.
And then one of my favorite spice seeds actually is cumin seeds. Love it. So we're going to add that to our oil and all of our other spices.
And this seems to be a common theme when dealing with spices is to cook them, fry them in oil first to activate or to kind of get those aromas
Absolutely, because once the spices or the seeds hit a hot pan, the natural oils actually emerge. So you're almost enticing it to just, infuse even further.
Just fully release that joy, that power. Wow.
So, Graham, I don't know if you want to have a whiff of this, but this just smells so gorgeous.
Oh, wow. That is amazing.
I think we should always be cooking outside.
Yeah, I know. Well, actually, you want these scents to be captured inside. And I would imagine this is the kind of thing where the rest of the household is like, okay, yes, something's coming. I love that.
So I'm just going to add the rice. And when you hear that sizzle, you just know the magic's happening.
Okay, so this rice you haven't cooked... You haven't boiled it. We've just soaked it to strengthen those rice grains, and then you put it straight into the oiled pan. Wow. Absolutely.
So it's such an easy recipe, and then you can add some salt. You can just
the key word here is rice. So you SMS that to 33728. We'll send you an ingredients list, and this is quite an important ingredients list when you're dealing with a balancing of flavors like this. Wow.
So this is how easy it is. You're just going to add the water. And it's almost about 1 liter of water.
Apart from anything, it just looks so magical as well.
And what I then do is I just give it a last little bit of a stir. You're going to seal that with a lid. You're going to cook it on high for about 7 minutes. Turn down the stove, turn it off completely. Walk away, go and do your thing, come back a few minutes later, and you are basically
what you're going to do is you're going to eat the biryani we made earlier.
And that's what the cumin rice looks like, but it's awesome.
It looks amazing. It looks exciting. I'm just looking for a fork to be able to eat it, but I think that's just a tiny little taste, excuse the pun, of the incredible Spice Odyssey that is presented in Cariema's offering here. So congratulations. I know it's a labor of love putting something like this together. It looks amazing, and we put it to the test, and it smells amazing. I'm sure it's going to taste amazing.
Thank you so much.
I'm going to use this fork to have a little taste right now.